Hey everybody, welcome back. So glad that you are here. Wherever you are, I hope something fantastic is going on in your day or is about to go on in your day. It has been an awesome week. Yesterday's workout just about killed me. It was half-mile repeats at a pretty high heart rate, pretty fast pace, and then we put dead hang pull-ups in between each half-mile repeat. That about wore me out, but it was also my favorite workout of the week. Thankfully next week, this was the end of a training block, so the next week is more of a deload rest week, so I get to focus on things like recovery and mobility and things that are physically good for my body. An interesting odd fact, I have not had a haircut in 4 years, 5 years, holy moly, 5 years. And earlier this week I cut 8 inches off of my hair. I don't know if anybody cares about that, but it's the first time I've done any serious cutting of my hair, and it feels pretty good actually. Man, I love having long hair, but it was getting a little out of hand. Anyways, what I want to talk about today is one very important practical thing that you can do to fix your sleep. If there was anything that I could just instantaneously fix for people that would make their life better, it would be sleep. You can get by in life with inadequate physical training. You can get by in life without mental training. You can get by in life on a pretty crappy diet. You cannot get by in life on crappy sleep. Not if you want to do any kind of thriving. And I really think postmodern culture is attempting to 100% dysregulate people's sleep so that they can monetize your discomfort, they can monetize your struggle, and give you all of these things that won't actually help you fix your sleep, or sleep better, or feel better, or any of that. So if I could do anything for anybody, it would be fix sleep as number one. And I think fixing sleep starts with this one simple correction. Get up in the morning at the same time every day. Stop snoozing. I think the snooze button on our alarm clocks is the number one ruiner of the day. Maybe that's a little extreme, but it's definitely up there in the top 5. And the reason I say that is twofold. Number one, snoozing prevents your body from going into the natural waking cycle that we need in order to function throughout the day. You're trying to tell yourself to wake up, and then you tell yourself to go back to sleep, and you're sending all these different signals that jumble up all the different neurological responses that we're supposed to have. And I'm fairly confident Andrew Huberman would say that in a much smarter way than I just said it. But the point is, if you want your brain to function well, you have to actually let it do the thing it evolved to do, and snoozing disrupts that. But number two, and this is the one that I'm more interested in on a personal level, is when you set an alarm clock, you are telling yourself that you're going to do a thing. And in this case, you're going to get up at a time. And then when that alarm clock goes off and you hit the snooze button, your first act of the day is self-betrayal. That seems like a pretty bad thing to do. And I don't say that with judgment. I don't say that with angst or frustration. I say that with deep compassion, because I know what it's like to do that, to betray oneself on the regular. And it hurts my heart for people to think that every day you want to get up and be the best version of yourself, and the first thing you do every day is undermine that attempt by betraying your willingness to get up. Because I really think that to fix your sleep, it starts with what you do in the morning. What you do in the morning begins the cycle of things that you need to do in order to therefore go to bed later in the day. I think I might just jumbled that sentence. But my point is, how you start the day radically impacts how you finish the day. And if you want to sleep better, you have to get up at the same time every day without snoozing. Now, how do you practically fix that? Well, number one, put your alarm clock, because you should be using an alarm clock, not your phone. Put your alarm clock on the other side of the room and put it on some kind of irritating sound. Like, there are certain styles of music that I personally detest. And I purposefully set my alarm clock on a radio station that plays that kind of music, so that when my alarm clock goes off and it's out of reach, I have to get up to turn that annoyance off. That works for me. That's pretty good stuff. But if you make your alarm clock out of reach where you can't hit the snooze button, and you put it on a loud volume, or you put it on an irritating noise, whatever, that will hopefully force you to get up and do something about said noise. But I think too, it requires, to fix this issue, requires a re-upping of what you believe to be true about who you are and the work you do. So my favorite example of this is this guy, Marcus Aurelius. And I'm not a Stoic. I'm not a Stoic practitioner. I think I messed that word up. I'm not a Stoic practitioner. I'm not Ryan Holiday, although I greatly appreciate the work that he does. I have learned so much from Marcus Aurelius. You know, Marcus Aurelius is, I think, one of the last great emperors of Rome. Yes, he is portrayed in the movie Gladiator, although that's not like a historical portrayal, I wouldn't say. But his book Meditations, I've read through a couple of times, and there's like everything underlined, and I love what he has to say about how to do life on a very practical level. But he talks about this issue about getting up in the morning, and I just want to read this and end on that, because it's just it's so good. It's so good. So Marcus writes, and I should preface, this section of the Meditations, he does this back and forth argument with himself. And that's one of the things that I love about his writing, because I do this, man. Like, I get up and I have these arguments with myself. No, we're not going to do that today. Yes, we are very much going to do that. And it's beautiful because it's such a human thing to do from this great emperor of Rome, to see him act just like the rest of us. Anyway, so Marcus writes, at dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, I have to go to work as a human being. What do I have to complain of? If I'm going to do what I was born for, the things I was brought into the world to do? Or is this, staying in bed, what I was created for? To huddle under the blankets and stay warm. But it's nicer here. So you were born to feel nice? Instead of doing things and experiencing them? Don't you see the plants, the birds, the ants and spiders and bees going about their individual tasks, putting the world in order as best they can? And you're not willing to do your job as a human being? Why aren't you running to do what your nature demands? But we have to sleep sometime. Agreed, but nature set a limit on that. And it did not, as it did on eating and drinking. And you're over the limit. You've had more than enough of that, but not of working. There, you're still well below your quota. You don't love yourself enough, or you'd love your nature too and what it demands of you. People who love what they do wear themselves down doing it. They even forget to wash or eat. Do you have less respect for your own nature than the engraver does for engraving, the dancer for the dance, the miser for the money, or the social climber for status? When they're really possessed by what they do, they'd rather stop eating and sleeping than give up practicing their arts. So I leave you with the words of Marcus. Do you love what you do? And are you willing to get up every day with joy to go and do it? And I hope you have an awesome time, an awesome rest of your day. And until next time, keep climbing. Episode 4. Let's do the dang deal. And that's not even how I want to start. Okay. The birds are really at it today.